Whether you're a podcaster or a game streamer, or maybe you just teach from home, you want that good sounding audio, and you need a way to get that microphone hooked up to your computer. So today we're going to take a look at the MaonoCaster C2 podcasting console. Hey everybody, it's Chris from Family Geekery, and today we're going to be taking a look at this podcasting console from Maono. So Maono actually reached out to me recently after I did a couple of videos on some other similar types of audio interfaces and podcast mixers and game streaming mixers, those kind of things. And they said, hey, we like your videos. Would you like to do a video on our podcasting console? So they sent this to me. As with all of my reviews, if a company sends me something, it's only under the terms that I do a complete review of my own opinions, and they don't get to see it until after I publish it. So these are my opinions. I'm not getting paid for them. They did send a review device for me, so I thank them for that. But we're going to take a look at this thing and see how it looks, see how it works, and most importantly, see how it sounds. So first up, let's go ahead and take a look at the box and see exactly what it's supposed to be. So I've seen this brand before on Amazon, Maono. They do a lot of audio devices. They sell microphones, and I've been very interested in getting one of their dynamic microphones to test out. So maybe if you guys all give me a thumbs up on this video, maybe they'll send me one. So right on the front, there's some really dim words here. It says 3 customized sound pads, plus 60 dB of powerful microphone preamp, phantom power, and USB-C output for mobile and PC. So let's see what else we got here. On the back it shows XLR mic input, 48 volts phantom power, built-in battery, side chain, not sure what that is. We'll figure that out. Real-time monitoring, premium audio DSP, so that's digital signal processing, reverb presets, and noise canceling. So what about on the back here? So it shows us some of the connections in the back that we're going to expect. So a power cord. We've got a couple of USB-Cs here. One's probably going to be for power. One's probably going to go to our device, whether it's a computer, laptop, or maybe even an iPad. We got looks like maybe a 1/8 inch jack for stream out, an 1/8 inch jack for headphones, an 1/8 inch jack for aux in, and then of course the XLR input. It looks like it might be a XLR combo input for our microphone. Over here on the features, we see XLR microphone input with 60 dB of gain, 48 volts phantom power, Bluetooth and aux input to enrich your content, independent microphone and accompaniment volume control, side chain and music only features. I'm gonna have to read what that means. Direct monitoring and loopback switch, 2-level noise canceling to reduce ambient noise, USB-C for easy connection to computer and mobile device, USB-C pass-through charging for select mobile device, compatible with Windows and Mac OS, and built-in battery up to 7 hours of off-grid operation. So it sounds promising. I like the fact that it's going to have a way of mixing our microphone and some kind of aux input, which that may be both the aux jack in the back plus maybe even a Bluetooth, it sounds like. And being able to mix those differently is going to be good. Some of these mixers, they just have one output, and you just hope it's mixed well. So that gives us a little bit. Looks like we got a way of having our headphones sounding different, or maybe a different volume than the output to the stream. So that's good. And then a couple sound pads. We'll see how those are to get sounds into and get sounds out of. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and take a look at the hardware. And then, of course, we're going to have to hook this thing up and test it out. So inside the box, we got the mixer itself. And I forgot they've got both white and black. They asked me which color, and I chose to go with the white one just to be a little bit different than some of the other ones I've tested out. Then there's a instruction manual in here, and it feels pretty decently thick, so we'll have to check that out. And then we've got a USB-C to USB-A cable. And then it also came with a short aux cable. So let's go ahead and take a look at the hardware itself and see if it matches what we expected to see here. So we've got a fader here for the volume of the microphone. We've got a gain knob here to adjust the gain. Looks like an aux gain or level. Then we've got our main output which is a rotary knob here. And then you got another one for the phones, for the headphones. And then down here at the bottom we've got buttons for 48 volts. That's going to be our phantom power. We got a Bluetooth button, reverb presets, side chain, direct monitor, pitch presets, noise reducer, and then our 3 sound pads. Looks like we are going to have a battery indicator up top here, and then a Bluetooth indicator also. And then around the back, looks like everything that we expected to see matches up. We've got the power button, power USB-C, this must be the pass-through, stream out and headphones out, both 1/8 inch jack, and then an aux in 1/8 inch jack. And yes, this is an XLR combo, so you could use an XLR cable or a 1/4 inch if you're going to put an instrument in there. Underneath it does show that it's got a 15 milliamp hour battery built into it, so you must be able to use this thing on the go like it said. I guess the pass-through charge will even output some power to the device that we're hooked up to if needed. That's of course just a guess at this point, so let me go ahead and read up that manual and I'll be right back. Alright, so I just read through the instruction book and it is very thorough, and this thing has an awful lot of features. So we're going to do a lot of tests on this thing, so we better jump right into it. The good news is that my iPad, which is what I'm recording with, it's an iPad Pro with a USB-C input. I can plug this right into here and it shows up as an audio interface. So it works both ways, both transmit and receive audio. So I'll be, for the rest of this review, I'll be plugging a microphone into here, plugging this into my iPad, and you'll be hearing me test out this thing right directly into the recording. So let's plug some stuff into this thing. Alright, so let me talk you through all this cable mess that I've got going on here. Sorry for all the mess, but I've got everything hooked up that I want to, and I'm going to walk you through what I've got going on here. So obviously I've got a microphone plugged in, so I've got an XLR cable right here, which is going to a dynamic microphone. I'm using right now the Rode Pod mic, which is the same microphone I use for my podcast, the FamilyGeekery Podcast. Check that out, new episodes every Tuesday. Nice little plug. So we got that microphone, we got a line in coming in here. So that line in is coming from my computer, and I'm just playing some royalty-free music thanks to Harris Heller at StreamBeats. I'll put a link to his stuff down in the description below. So this is part of his low-key playlist. Just some nice music to have in the background. And you can see now that I'm adjusting the volume of it here with this aux input. So that's coming in this green cable here. So that's just plugged right into a desktop computer over on my left. So I can adjust that in and mix that in with my voice. And of course I've got my gain set up about 75%. I've got the microphone here set up about 75%. As I bring up and down this, you'll hear that my volume will go up and it'll go down. And you can see that the level here, which is pretty neat, it's gonna, when I'm not adjusting the volume on the input mixer, it's going to show me kind of like a VU meter of my voice. And once I start adjusting it, it's going to show me the level that I've got it set at. So we want it right about here. And then from there, I've turned this dial to mix it into the recording here. So hopefully everything's sounding good in the recording. I haven't tested it back yet, but the levels coming into the iPad look pretty good. So I can adjust the entire mix up and down with this. So I'm assuming that if I turn this up a little bit, as I turn this down, that music, I'll just shut up my voice for a second, the music should go down and back up. So this is the entire stream, and this is going out this USB cable, which is going right into my iPad here. So that's what they're calling the stream mix. Now we could also use an 1/8 inch jack here and send that out to another computer if we wanted to, or send that out to a phone, whatever we wanted to send that stream to. We could actually set it up to a set of speakers if we were using this maybe at a party or something, and then everything that we're doing here would go out to those speakers. So we could feed a set of powered speakers or feed a mixing board, whatever you want to feed with that output. Right now we're just going straight USB right into here. And then the last cable, of course, I've got just some power input coming in just so that this thing doesn't die. So it's actually charging while it's going, and it only takes 1 amp input So you could use a battery bank and keep this thing charged up for like forever probably. So we're going to look also over here. So over here, this is just the headphone slider, and that shouldn't affect anything that you're hearing. Of course, in my headphone, it's going up and down. So now that we see all the audio sources and how they get mixed, I've got one more audio source that we didn't look at yet, and that's the Bluetooth. So I turned on the Bluetooth here, and I paired a phone. So let me go ahead and get that ready. Alright, so now what you're hearing is a kind of an arcade mix from StreamBeats also. This one's called Burnt Toaster. That's pretty cool. So that's coming from my iPhone over Bluetooth to here. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've got one knob here, and I've got two inputs. So what's happening? And what's happening is I went ahead and paused this on the computer because if both are going, they get mixed together. So let me unpause the input coming from my computer real quick. And now we've got both coming in. So if I turn down the volume from my phone, you should hear the low-key stuff from the computer. And if I turn the phone back up, then you should hear that arcade beats coming back in with it. So it's kind of nifty. You can actually mix both of them together into one knob, so you can actually have both inputs coming in at the same time. You just have to mix them outside of this, because this is going to be one volume control coming into this mix. So if you have volume controls for the two devices, of course your phone should have volume control, and whatever you're bringing into here, whether it's an iPad or laptop or whatever it is, you should have volume control on that. Get those two to sound good together, and then send that entire mix in with the rest of you. So you could actually have music coming in from your phone. You could have a gaming PC or a console coming in here as your game music, and then you could have your microphone and have all that coming off to a streaming computer. So this little thing can actually do, the typical 2 PC streaming setup. Alright, so now that I've got some music coming in and I've got my voice coming in, let me show you real quick this sidechain. So this sidechain, I haven't heard that term before, but basically what it is, it's kind of like an auto ducking. So if I turn this on, in my headphones I just heard an announcement that said sidechain on, and you probably didn't hear that. I think it only comes to the headphones and it doesn't come to the stream. So every time you hit one of these buttons, it sends me a cue to my headphone to let me know what I did. So I just turned sidechain on, so let me turn this music up. And now when I start talking, the music is going to go down automatically, and when I stop talking, the music will go back up. So every time you talk, it brings the level of the audio coming in for whatever source it is, either the Bluetooth or the aux input, and it reduces the volume of that while I'm talking. So that's kind of neat. So every time I hit this button with a momentary hit, then it turns it on and off. Now if I push and hold it, it says music only. And what music only mode is supposed to do, and it's not going to be apparent in this recording here, but it's supposed to kind of cut the vocals out of the incoming music. So if you had some song coming in here, maybe some Britney Spears or something, and I hit the music only, it's supposed to reduce the volume of her voice, and then I could maybe karaoke over that. But you're going to have to pay extra for that because I don't sing for free, so we'll ignore that for right now. So let me turn this back down. So we got the 48 volts button over here. I'm not using that because I've got a dynamic microphone in, not a condenser microphone. Let's go ahead and go through the reverb presets. So I think it's got like 6 different presets, and now this is going to affect the sound of my microphone. And I'm going to get a cue in my headphones, I believe, for every one that I press through. This one said Hall. So H-A-L-L, if you can't understand that, Hall. So you can hear a lot of reverb, a lot of echo. This one is called Valley. That one's even more echoey. This one said Room. So it's a little bit tighter of a reverb. and then back to original. So I guess it's, what, 3-4 different types. So if you want to have a little bit of reverb, oh, here's another one called karaoke. I don't know what that means. And then church. So church is another reverb type. So there is, I guess, 5 or 6. And then back to hall. So let me get back to original. And we're back to original again. So it takes a couple seconds after you hit the button for it to change, but it's fun to play with. So we went through the reverb, we went through the side chain and the music only. So the direct monitor here, you won't hear any difference on this, but if I toggle this direct monitor on and off, it just told me now monitoring off, and now I can't hear my voice in my headphones. I still hear the music coming in, but not my voice. So if I hit this button again, it told me monitoring on, and now I can hear my voice again. So some people don't like to hear their own voice when they're talking, some people do. When we're podcasting, my daughter does not like to hear her own voice in the mix, and I always like to hear mine, just so I know that I'm close enough to the microphone, really. So your choice on that. The underneath here, the long press for loopback, what that's going to do is it's going to change what is going over this USB cable here. So the USB cable is going to be sending audio to your recording device, but it's also bringing audio back. So if you had this hooked up to a computer and you had some audio source coming in, maybe a Skype call or something, and you didn't want that looped back to them, then you would want to turn that loop back off so that everything that's coming towards you doesn't get mixed in with here and sent back. Because this is actually another audio input that gets mixed into here. So I could actually have something playing on a computer, maybe another, a chat window or something like that. It would get mixed into here, but if I don't want that coming back to the stream, then you would turn this off. That's kind of like what some mixers would call a mix minus. All right, so this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be the pitch presets. So I think there's a couple different pitch presets. So let's go ahead and go through these. This says default.
Female. This said female. And all I know is that I make a really funny sounding female.
Here's male. Now I was already male, but now I guess I'm more manly. This is more manly voice than what I've already got, I guess.
And this one is the baby. We played around with these on a different mixer recently, and they sounded pretty similar, but I think the baby on the other one was even a little bit higher pitch.
And now I get to sound like a robot, which sounds more like a demon to me, but maybe that's just because my voice is so low.
And then we're back to default again. So remember, every time you press this, it does take a second or so to go into effect, but that's fun. Maybe you just want to play around with some voices when you're streaming. All right, next to that is going to be noise reduction. So to test this out, I'm going to try to test it out by turning the volume down on the music, so we just have my voice. I'm going to turn the gain up on the microphone. And now, give me a second, I'm going to bring my microphone closer to my computer, which has a bunch of fans on it. And I'm going to try to get that fan noise to come through the microphone, and then we'll play around with this noise reduction. Alright, so I've got the microphone right up next to my computer, and I'm leaning over awkwardly to talk into it. And if I be quiet here for a second, you should hear the fans of the computer. Alright, so this is without noise reduction on. There's two noise reduction levels, low and high, so I'll toggle between those two. So this is noise cancellation low. Hopefully it's not canceling out much of my voice. Hopefully my voice is still coming through good. And hopefully you don't hear as much of that computer. And this is noise cancellation high. So I'm not sure, it sounds in my headphones like the volume of my microphone is actually going down some. That may be a byproduct of the noise reduction. But I don't hear any of the fan in my microphone at all. So for a quick comparison, let me turn it back off. off, low, and high. And back to off again. So it'll be interesting to hear what that sounds like when I go back to edit this. But I could tell in my headphones that there was a difference, and the noise was definitely gone, but I hope it didn't affect too much of the microphone. Alright, next up we've got our 3 sound pads. Now the 3 sound pads don't have anything pre-programmed into them. They're only going to take what you record into them. So you're going to have to record, I'm guessing, from internally here, using your audio inputs, to these pads, and then you can use them again. So it said to push for 3 seconds to delete one. And I'm assuming that means it's deleted now. It said to do a single push to start recording. This is sound pad A. And then push it again to stop, or if you don't stop it, it'll fill up some kind of a memory buffer about 20 seconds long, and it'll stop automatically. So let me go ahead and erase B. And let me erase C. And now we'll record a sample for B. This is sample B. And then one more for C. And this is sample C. So now let's play them back and see what happens. This is sound pad A. This is sample B. And this is sample C. So they all work exactly how they are supposed to. And it looks like their volume is independent of any of these controls, because I could turn this all the way down. This is sound pad A. And you should have still heard sound pad A. This is already turned down. And so this is obviously just this total stream output. So if I turn this all the way down, then you probably wouldn't hear it. So I did hear that in my headphones, but I don't think you heard it on yours. So the only way to, I guess these would be recorded at the volume level that you want them to play back at, and it's going to play back just totally mixed in with everything else. So if you wanted to get some kind of fancy sound effects on here, then you'd probably, the best thing to do is probably pipe them in from another source here, play it on your source, maybe it's a computer, play a WAV file on your computer, record it on here, and it'll be saved on there. Otherwise, if it's just vocal stuff, if it's just phrases and sayings, then obviously you can just do it right from your microphone, just like I did. Alright, so that's a lot of features, like I said, and luckily inside the box also with the instruction card was this warm tips. And this has kind of like a cheat sheet version of what all the different buttons do. So that's kind of handy to keep around with you. We went through all the different functions. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to hook this up to a computer. I'm loving that side chain. And I'm going to show you on the computer where you would see the settings for getting your music in and out of here, or getting your audio devices in and out of here. Since right now you can't see it because it's going to my iPad, I'm going to hook this host cable here up to my computer and do a screen grab and show you guys the settings that you would do in Windows to get this thing to work. Alright, so now we should be taking a look at the desktop here, and what I've got is the sound settings. Basically you find this from the advanced sound options here. So app volume and device preferences, and this is basically where you can set up your mixer inside Windows and tell each of the different programs that are playing some kind of music or some kind of audio, and then send them to different outputs and inputs, and then we can mix them all together. So basically what I've got here for the default is this is what it shows up as, is speakers, MaonoCaster C2 Neo, and then we've got the headset microphone, MaonoCaster C2 Neo. So this is how it shows up when you plug in a USB device to your computer. And then this is how you can, record right from that mixer right into your computer. So for your stream or for your podcast, whatever it is. Now, I've got several things going on here. We still got that green cable going in there, which is the aux cable. And that's what this is here. This Microsoft Edge I've got going to this green cable. So as I turn this volume up and down, and I do have the side channel going, so it's auto-ducking the volume down when I'm talking. But you heard that go up and down. Now over on Google Chrome, I've got this going straight here to the input of the mixer. So if I play anything on Google Chrome, which I have another version of StreamBeats playing the arcade preset again. Now I've got a different audio source coming from Google Chrome. Now this one is going over USB. So this one is going right through the USB cable towards that mixer, and it's getting mixed in with everything with that aux volume button, and then it's getting sent back to the machine. So let me go ahead and show you that aux mixer again. So that's coming in the same place as this Microsoft Edge is. So if we put them both up, then we got both of them going. Now remember, I also have the Bluetooth still set up. So if I turn the volume up on my Bluetooth, now I've got a third audio device going in there. And this is again another StreamBeats, a different arcade song. So let's turn both of these down. So this is coming straight from my phone. And let's bring in Chrome. And let's bring in Edge. So all together, now you would obviously not want to do 3 different music sources there, but you could have your game coming in on one of these, you could have your chat coming in on one of these, and you could have, some music coming in over your phone, over the Bluetooth. So for this little tiny device, being so small and portable as it is, and I'm going to turn this audio off real quick, hold on. For as small and portable as this thing is, you can certainly do a whole lot of stuff with it and get a lot of inputs and outputs going in here at the same time. So like I said from the very beginning, this is my opinions, this is my review, this is a device that they sent us, and I do appreciate that. So don't think that I'm saying nice things about it just because they sent it to me. That's not the case. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm telling you nice things about this thing because honestly I'm pretty darn impressed. We just recently reviewed the Fee-Fine Ampligame SC3 on the channel, and that's in about the same ballpark price range as this, and the features that I'm seeing on this thing are a lot more useful. So the sound samples are nice, and the different voice effects are nice, and the different reverbs are nice, but not everybody's going to use those all the time. Having multiple inputs and being able to mix them in and being able to make a true stream mix out to your audience and being able to do all that, plus have a dedicated XLR input to your computer, all for around $60-65, somewhere in there. That's pretty impressive. So let's kind of summarize some of the things that I like about this. First of all, the ease of use. Even without this card here, it was pretty easy to remember what each of these buttons did and how to do it. Everything is either a single tap or a long press to get it to work, so that's pretty good. I like the fact that we've got some different meters here to show the inputs and outputs, and just the visual cue of how loud everything is. That's pretty cool. I like the diversity of all the different inputs that you can do in here. The Bluetooth, the USB input, the aux input, and then of course the microphone. Having all that being able to come in here and get mixed together for one stream, that's pretty impressive for this small of a device and this cheap of a device. And then all the other stuff here, the noise reduction, the sound pads, that kind of stuff, that's all just bonus in my opinion. It's great if you need it. It's not in the way if you don't need it. And it doesn't add too much fluff. You know, it doesn't add too much distraction to you if you're not going to use it all the time. Now, if there's one thing that I would change about this is having 2 more of these guys. If I could have discrete knobs, one for the aux in, one for the Bluetooth, and one for the USB incoming audio, then you could mix everything right here, right on the mixer, and get it all out to your stream together. It's fine how it is. I'm just mixing everything, I guess, changing the volume levels of this and this and this all on the devices that they're coming in, and that works, and we saw it work. But it would be pretty darn cool if we just had 2 more little knobs in there. If we had that, then it would be pretty darn close to getting to the functionality and the design of a much more expensive device like the Go XLR. So I think we're coming to the end of this deep dive. I wanted to show you everything that it could do and show you everything that you could use it for, and hopefully I did that. If this was helpful to you, of course I appreciate a big thumbs up on the video. If you like this kind of stuff and you want to see more reviews, hit that subscribe button. Also, go check this device out at their website. I'll leave a link to their website down below, and I'll also leave a link to Amazon. That link is an affiliate. If you do purchase one of these or anything at Amazon, then we do get a little bit of a kickback to help keep the channel going. Now, about 99% of the things that we review here are all out of our own pocket, so having something like this come in, it's a rarity, but it's nice. So thank you again to Maono, which I may have been pronouncing their name wrong this whole time, I'm not sure, but it looks like Maono. So thanks again to Maono for sending this test device. I really enjoy it, and one last thing that I love about it is the fact that it goes right to my iPad also. So I'm still talking into this cable, which is going to the computer, but we did the whole first part of the functionality test just going right from this battery-powered device right to this battery-powered device, making a super portable solution. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you come up with any questions about this thing, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. But until next time, peace out and geek out.